Hey everyone, it's World Film Geek here, and today is the day. It's time for the first ever World Film Geek Awards. We have some categories in favorite genre films, favorite acting performances, favorite directors, and favorite short film and feature film. So enjoy, sit back, and here are the winners. We are going to start out with genre awards, but before that, we have a special award. This goes to the favorite WTF movie. This is for a film that goes way beyond its madness. We're talking something that Trauma Team would be proud of, something over the top. And that award goes to Tokyo Homestay Massacre. This crazy maniacal film from the duo of Hirohito Takamoto and Kento Osaka is the story of three Americans who go to Japan and find out that their homestay family are a family of maniacs who wishes to use them in a very sadistic ritual. This film has it all, including one of the most insane weapons fights I've ever seen. And it is so ridiculously over the top. And props has to go out to Kimi Yuki for channeling her Lin Shay as the crazy grandmother. So, congratulations to Tokyo Homestay Massacre, the favorite WTF film of 2020. Okay, let's get right into the genre films. We're going to start out with favorite documentary this year, and this is the first of a few ties. So, favorite documentary. Two films really surprised me this year, and the first one I'm going to say goes to Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street. This is the story of Mark Patton, who starred in Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. And it's been dubbed the gayest horror film of all time. Not so sure how true that is in some ways, but there are gay connotations. And after the film, Patton disappeared for nearly 2 decades. He's reemerged. He's settling things in terms of why this stuff was written in the script. He got to reunite with cast members from the film, and just to see what he's up to these days. This is an exciting documentary. I highly recommend this to any film fan, especially in the horror genre, for a guy who's reemerged and finally is doing well. Glad to see he's doing well. So, congratulations to Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street. You are one of the two favorite documentaries this year. And the second favorite documentary goes to Inmate Number One, The Rise of Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo, if you don't know this name by now, you are living under a rock, and I suggest you get out of it. Well, anyway, Danny Trejo is one of the most prolific actors and humanitarians on the face of the earth today. But it took quite a road for him to get where he is today. A former prisoner, drug addict, he's cleaned himself up. He got into boxing. It led to his acting career, which is nearly, 400 credits over the years. I mean, he is literally a godsend to the film industry and to the community that he's from. So, with that said, Inmate Number One, The Rise of Danny Trejo, you're also the favorite documentary of 2020. Next is the favorite foreign film of 2020, and it's actually another tie. The first one is Adam from Morocco. This is a story of a young, pregnant Moroccan woman who's ousted by society, cannot get a job anywhere. She finds herself living with and working for a divorced baker with a daughter. The two eventually bond thanks to the daughter, and this is a film not only about learning Moroccan customs and their food, but in some ways it's a film about female empowerment in this country. Mariam Tuzani did an excellent job writing and directing the film. So, congratulations to Adam. You are one of the two favorite foreign films of 2020. And with that said, our second favorite foreign film of 2020 comes from South Africa. The movie is called Triggered. It's the story of 9 friends who find themselves knocked out and forced wearing suicide bomb vests by their high school science teacher, who is playing a game because he has a question to ask him. He said he thinks one is responsible for the death of his son. So the 9 of them try to stop the bombs, but unfortunately, the only way they can do it is they have to kill each other and steal each other's time. Sounds maniacal. It is. It's heavily inspired by Battle Royale and other films, and is directed by Alistair Orr. Has a great ensemble cast. I recommend this. If you haven't seen it yet, I will say it's coming on DVD on December 29th. Check it out. Triggered, the second favorite foreign film of 2020. And next we have the favorite Western film of 2020, and that award goes to The Divide, directed by TV and film actor Perry King. He also stars in the film as a cattle rancher who is suffering from Alzheimer's and still reeling over the death of his son. He takes in a young farmhand under his wing and kind of treats him as a son, but at the same time, he's trying to make amends with his son's wife and daughter. This is a great film. It has entirely shot in black and white. It feels like a John Ford film set, in the modern day era. And Perry King once again proves why he's one of the greatest actors in Hollywood today, and even from the 80s and 90s, stuff like that. This is his first film as a director, and I think he did a hell of a job on it. So, congratulations to The Divide, the favorite Western film of 2020. Next, we have our favorite drama film of 2020. And this was a tough one because I saw some pretty good dramas this year. But one rose above the rest, and it goes to Joey Travolta's Carol of the Bells. This movie literally made me cry. Granted, it's a holiday film that was released in the early quarter of 2020. But this is such a heartwarming film about a man who wants to reconnect with his biological mother on Christmas, but is afraid to. So his wife takes matters into her own hands. What's great about this film is a lot of the cast have a developmental disability. That's what Joey Travolta's intention is. That's what he does today. The former actor coaches actors with developmental disabilities, and this is such a wonderful film. RJ Mitty, I can't say enough about him. If you've seen Breaking Bad, you know how he is. He does really well as this guy who finds himself wanting to connect with his mother, but is afraid to. And overall, it's a great film. And props goes to Andrea Friedman for playing the titular Carol. Her performance literally made me shed a few tears. So, congratulations to Carol of the Bells, the favorite drama film of 2020. And next, we have our favorite comedy film of 2020. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the winner is Guest House, directed by Sam Macaroni. I feel like this is going to be the return of Pauly Shore. He is hilarious in this. He kind of does a little bit of the Weasel act from the 90s, but he kind of plays it subtle. He plays a combination of the Weasel and Cheech and Chong wrapped up in one as this obnoxious man who lives in the guest house that this couple just bought. And it is hilarious. All the stuff, there's some raunchy stuff. And kudos has to go out to Amy Teagarden because her reactions to the situations are dead on, blunt, frank, and the smug face that she gives while giving these reactions just kept making me laugh so hard. So congratulations to Guest House, the favorite comedy film of 2020. Next, we have our favorite horror film of 2020. Now, this was a bit of a late entry. This came in a few days before the deadline. I saw a lot of horror this year, and there was a lot of good ones. But this late entry really surprised me. And it's a South African horror film called The Hex. And it's directed by first-time director Raina Swart, who's a respected actor from South Africa. She did an amazing job for her directorial debut. She brought in shades of Poltergeist and The Ring, or maybe The Grudge, if you will, in the story of a British woman who goes to South Africa to investigate her mother's murder, only to discover that it involves a witch doctor's curse. There's some nice little twists and turns in the story, some pretty good performances by the supporting cast, a little bit of a subplot, and overall, the ending really surprised me because of how it ends. So, congratulations to The Hex. You are the favorite horror film of 2020. Next, we go into our favorite sci-fi film of 2020, and that goes to Color Out of Space, directed by Richard Stanley and based on the story by H.P. Lovecraft. This is the story of a farmer and his family who are affected by a meteor when it hits their front yard. And what can I say? Nicolas Cage is Nicolas Cage, especially when he goes talking about alpacas. But it's the supporting cast that really helps him drive this film. Jolie Richardson, Brendan Meyer, and Madeleine Arthur are as great as his family, who find themselves afflicted and affected by this meteor, as well as Nicholas. And there's some twists, some crazy stuff happening. And those of you who've seen the 1987 film The Curse, you'll probably know what to expect here because it's kind of similar in theme. So, congratulations to Color Out of Space, the favorite sci-fi film of 2020. And our final genre film award is the favorite action film of 2020. There were some really good action films this year. Um, you know, Scott Adkins had a really good chance because he came out with like about five movies this year. But a late entry came in about a couple weeks ago, and I was blown away. For those of you who like John Wick and that style of action, this might be the movie for you. It is called Army of One. This is the story of a military soldier and her husband going on a hiking trip, and they discover a drugs compound, and they get kidnapped. He's dead. She's left for dead. She awakens, and she's seeking revenge. Ellen Holman is tipped to be the next big action star with this film. She did all of her own stunts. She's trained in jiu-jitsu, which she uses in the movie, and get ready for this. There is a one-take fight scene that she did with only 1 hour of prep time, and they got it done on the first take. That is insane. And kudos has to go out to her husband, Stephen Dunleavy of the 8711 stunt team, for choreographing these moves. So congratulations to the Army of One. You are the favorite action film of 2020. Now we're going to start with the acting awards. The favorite male performance goes to Christian Gabriel for the film Crisis Hotline. He did an amazing job as Danny, a young small town man who comes to the big city, finds love, and finds that his partner forced him into a situation involving another couple. This puts Danny over the edge, so he calls a crisis hotline center to tell him, the guy over the phone, that he's going to kill himself, but not before going after these three. Gabriel gives an amazing performance as we see this story unfold through flashbacks. This is an LGBTQ film directed by Mark Schwab. The film is really well done, well made, has great performances, but Gabriel really rose as in the central of Danny. So congratulations, Christian. You are the favorite male performance of 2020 for Crisis Hotline. Next is our favorite female performance, and that award goes to Elisabeth Moss for The Invisible Man, the story of a woman who breaks free from her abusive boyfriend, only to find that he found a way to turn himself invisible and make her life a living hell. And the reason I'm giving Elisabeth Moss this award is because she not only emotionally delivered a hell of a performance, but to see her go through this and even some of the physicality, it looks like she did herself. And it's just mind-blowing what happens. And for those of you who have not seen The Invisible Man yet, you need to check this one out just for her performance, because she is great in it as a woman on the brink of madness and eventually finds redemption, hopefully. So, Elisabeth Moss, you are the favorite female performance of 2020 for The Invisible Man. Next is the favorite supporting male performance, and it goes to Barry Keoghan for The Shadow of Violence. His character in this film is really complex. He has two personalities. One minute he's a complete badass who's gonna go through violent means to get the job done. On the other hand, he's not so much of a bad guy. He's a nice guy when it comes to the main character of the film, to show that loyalty, even though his uncles are these Irish mob enforcers. But Barry Keoghan, it seems like any role he does, he puts 125% into it, and this is no different. So congratulations to Barry Keoghan. You are the favorite supporting male performance for The Shadow of Violence. Next up is the supporting female performance of 2020, and it goes to Madeleine Arthur for Color Out of Space. Playing Nicolas Cage's daughter must not be an easy thing, but Madeleine plays this rebellious teen who eventually falls victim to the meteorite, and she undergoes not only mental changes but physical changes as well. And to see her undergo this transformation just brings out one of her best performances. And with that said, I mean, you have to see this movie if you love sci-fi. And Madeleine, Arthur did a great job. So congratulations, Best Supporting Female Performance, Madeleine Arthur for Color Out of Space. And our final acting award is the Breakout Star of the Year. And this year goes to a female performer who appeared in 3 films this year of 3 different genres. And somehow, some way, she made all 3 films work, and she was one of the driving forces behind all 3 films. So I'll break it down. The first one is a comedy called Banana Split. The second one is a drama called To the Stars. And the most recent one is a horror film called The Beach House. She starred in all 3 films. She really gave it her all. She is probably one of the best young actresses to come out in recent years. And with that said, the Breakout Star of the Year goes to LIANA Liberato. Congratulations. Next up, we have our directing awards, and we're going to start with the Best New Director. This is for any filmmaker whose first film came out in 2020. This is the final tie of the World Film Geek Awards. So the award goes to both Perry King and Raina Swart. Perry King's Western The Divide won Best Feature Western of 2020. And Raina Swart won Best Horror Film of 2020 with The Hex. This is their first films as directors, and I think both of them did an impressive job as newcomers behind the scenes. So personally, I hope both of them will make films again behind the scenes, behind the cameras. They both did a great job with their films. So congratulations goes out to both Perry King and Raina Swart as the best new directors of 2020. And next is the best director of 2020, and it goes to Jeff RODA for the film 18 to Party. This is a great, realistic, natural chemistry film about a bunch of kids who are waiting outside of a club because they have to wait till a certain time to get in. These are a bunch of 8th graders, and they just talk like they're just hanging out. It feels like John Hughes and Richard Linklater combined, and it had this old school nostalgic feel, in a day where we're all about social media and smartphones. This takes back to the days where you would just hang out with your buddies and just like chill, no electronics involved, and the young cast in this film is phenomenal. So congratulations to Jeff RODA, Best Director of 2020 for 18 to Party. And we're wrapping things up with the Best Feature Film of 2020. This was one of the toughest decisions I had to make because due to the pandemic, I watched 154 brand new films, and this was a huge jump from last year where it was only about 99. I had to carefully consider everything, and ultimately I did come across the film that I consider the best film of 2020, and it will also be my number 1 of the top 20 of 20, which will be coming out in a few days. And that film goes to 18 to Party. I love a good nostalgia style film, and this was the one that did it for me. The story of a group of 8th graders waiting outside of a club, just shooting the breeze. Got some twists here and there. It felt like I was watching John Hughes and Richard Linklater combined. It was like if they had a love child, it would be 18 to Party. Jeff RODA's direction is amazing on this film. It's like he let the kids just let their natural performances come out. It just felt so smooth, and the chemistry was on right there between the kids. And so with that said, 18 to Party is the best film of 2020 at World Film Geek. So congratulations. And with that said, that is the end of the World Film Geek Awards for 2020. Let's see where 2021 is going to go with everything going on still. And look out for the top 20 of 20 within the next couple of days. They'll probably be just after Christmas, but I guarantee the list is going to be really good. And in the meantime, I hope everyone enjoys a good holiday season, and we'll see you for the top 20 of 20. And then we start the new year in 2021. We start fresh, and we're going to have a busy first week in January. So until then, take care, folks.